What up, YouTube? Scrubquad Pro here from the Cash Kelly and AC Network, bringing you a 2011 Hell in a Cell pay-per-view review. Now, before we start about the review, the overall timing of this pay-per-view was absolutely awful. It's literally 2 weeks after Night of Champions. I don't understand why WWE would do that. It probably didn't get a high amount of buy rates because of the price and everything, but that's their issue. The pay-per-view itself, though, was solid, and without further ado, let us jump right in to Hell in a Cell 2011. So this pay-per-view started off with a SmackDown match between Sheamus and Christian that ended with Sheamus coming out on top. And this is a really solid match. Christian, for a little bit, was the dominant heel on SmackDown, but since has given that position up to Mark Henry, and Sheamus is an upcoming face on SmackDown, so having these two go at it, I think, was a really good match and a good way to start the pay-per-view off. And I personally am really starting to dig this face Sheamus guy. I think he's a lot more entertaining than the heel Sheamus, because when Sheamus was a heel, he would try to be the big, powerful, oh, look at me, I'm Irish and I need to get a tan. But now he's just going in there doing his work, and he's cutting some good promos. And he put on a good match tonight and came up with the victory. Next, we had Sin Cara versus Sin Cara. So obviously the winner was Sin Cara, but the winner was actually the original Sin Cara. Me personally, I don't understand what's going on with this little feud. I mean, I know what's going on, but I don't get why they're doing it. It's pretty much... It started when Sin Cara got busted for a wellness policy, so he was out 30 days. So they brought in another Mexico wrestler and dressed him as Sin Cara, and then when the actual Sin Cara's suspension or injury, as they had it on TV, was done, he came back, and now they've been feuding with each other on SmackDown, and they got a match at Hell in a Cell. I don't really like their Mexican style as much as I do with Rey Mysterio, because Rey Mysterio makes it work, and he's not as Mexican as Lucha Libre style wrestler as these two are. But I mean, they can make it work, and it wasn't a bad match, so that's a good thing. So, like I said, Sin Cara came out on top, obviously, because it was Sin Cara versus Sin Cara, but it was the original one. And hopefully this feud will continue to get better, and they'll develop more into the WWE style of Lucha Libres. Next, we had the tag team title match between Air Boom and Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger. This match was won by Air Boom. I didn't see this one coming. The tag team, that is, of Ziggler and Swagger. Now, I understand that WWE is trying to rebuild the tag team division, which I like, and I'm digging it with the Air Boom, because for the past year or so, the tag team division was slacking like no other. But I don't like the tag team of Ziggler and Swagger, because they could be used for singles competition, and obviously Dolph Ziggler has the United States championship. So I don't like that they're pairing these two who they could use for someone else, instead of giving someone who doesn't get a lot of TV time or just in-ring time that opportunity, like Zack Ryder or Kurt Hawkins or someone like that. But it was a good match, and Air Boom was able to retain their titles. Next, we had the first actual Hell in a Cell match between Mark Henry and Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship. Mark Henry came out on top, proving once again that he is the most dominant heel on SmackDown. And even though I am a Randy Orton fan, I would have been awfully angry if Mark Henry were to have lost 2 weeks after he won the title. That would have just pissed me off. But he didn't. He won. And then, of course, after the match, WWE had to make Randy Orton look big and strong. So he fought off Mark Henry, and his music was playing after the match instead of the actual winner, Mark Henry's. But all in all, it was a good match. Mark Henry is definitely the most dominant heel on SmackDown, and will probably stay like that for a while until maybe Big Show Kane or The Undertaker return. Next, we had the Intercontinental Championship match between Cody Rhodes and John Morrison. Now, Cody Rhodes came out in a suit to cut a promo with the white Intercontinental Championship belt, bringing it back, maybe to gain a little bit more prestige to the title. And he ended up having to face John Morrison, but he still came out on top, retaining the title. And I'm digging the Cody Rhodes phase. I like what he's doing. I personally think that he should have won the SmackDown Money in the Bank, not Daniel Bryan, who has failed to do anything with the briefcase or let alone win a couple matches since Money in the Bank. But hopefully WWE has something planned for Cody Rhodes. I feel like if booked the right way, he will be a future star and one of WWE's biggest stars, and maybe as big as John Cena if booked correctly. But you know, you start slow, start with baby steps, and right now the Intercontinental title is Cody Rhodes' baby step to getting to the World Championship. So the final match of the night was the Triple Threat Hell in a Cell match between Alberto Del Rio, John Cena, and CM Punk. John Cena goes into this match carrying the title after winning at Night of Champions, and CM Punk squeezed his way into the match after Del Rio used his rematch clause. So now we had a triple threat match. It was a good match. Cena was able to get outside the cage, but then wasn't able to get back in, which allowed Del Rio to work an attack on CM Punk using a steel pipe, hitting CM Punk with it and getting the win. And then so Del Rio was now the champion, and after the match, John Cena goes in and attacks, and we learned two things from this, from the ending of this match. One, it was absolutely pointless to have John Cena win at Night of Champions to go lose it 2 weeks later. I don't know why they did that at all. And then the second thing is chaos absolutely erupted with The Miz and R-Truth coming in from the crowd as hooded figures. They were able to get in the ring and have the cage lowered, and then they attack everyone. They attack Cena, CM Punk, Del Rio, the refs. Then the locker room floods out to ringside along with Triple H, John Laurinaitis, and some security guards or cops. They try to lift the cage back up. Someone comes in with bolt cutters to open the door, and as soon as that happens, The Miz and R-Truth pretty much, get down on their hands and knees, put their hands up, and they eventually get cuffed. And then while bringing them out of the ring, Triple H goes ham and starts attacking them, and people try to hold him back, and he shoves Laurinaitis, and then he didn't get cuffed, but security guard held him back. So the show faded with The Miz and R-Truth being led away and Triple H being held back by security. So the ending of the show I enjoyed thoroughly. I really like what they're doing with this Miz R-Truth segment, with them being fired and then now pretty much making hell in the cell. And it draws you in to you keep thinking what could happen next after two fired guys come in and pretty much raise hell in the cell. And so hopefully they do something good with this storyline. Add Kevin Nash back into it and give Triple H a buddy like John Cena, or have CM Punk team up with Triple H, because I honestly don't want to see, I really don't even want to see either John Cena or CM Punk in the title picture, but I have a feeling that that's not going to happen. So maybe just take one of them out of it and put them in this Triple H storyline with The Miz, R-Truth, and I see Kevin Nash coming back into that. So that's it for Hell in a Cell. It was an overall good show, even though the timing of it was absolutely horrendous. So that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed Scrubquad Pro. Peace.